Okay, so I watched District 9. Technically for like the 1.5th time because I actually did see kind of the beginning of it like a year ago, but I got bored and shut it off. And honestly, having finished it, I don't know why. Because this film did what like two films before it have ever done before, and that is it successfully combined like not political, but like social commentary, awesome action, like great acting, and then like like a heart, like a good story, just like really cool movie. And I knew going in that this whole thing was kind of an allegory for the apartheid in South Africa. And so I knowing that, it was kind of really easy to pick up on the message. It was not like The Matrix is what comes to mind as another film that's done that. People questioned the political thing, but I think it's got a really cool philosophical notion in it. And just just a really cool idea. And that's terrifying to think of that. I mean, we may not have done, and not necessarily the US, but countries may not have gone as far as the people in the movie did, but like pretty much everything that they did in there has been done to one race or another. And that's fucking terrifying. Like that we could do that, the genetic experimentation, it's terrifying. I have to say though, I found the main character confusing because he was kind of like you got confused whether or not he was a total dick because he was like you thought he was okay at the beginning, and then you see him like aborting the babies and you're like, "Oh, he's a total dick." And then like and then he works with the alien and you're like, "Okay, so he's a nice guy. He's going to reform his ways and that's great." And then he fucks over the alien, and then everything goes to hell and he helps the alien again. And so it was just really confusing because he's constantly like fighting for himself, and then he gets a conscience kind of at the end. But it kept like, I wish he would have just like one moment switch, but he kept flipping back and forth. Like when he ran away and then he saw that the guy was going to die, so he went, I mean the alien thing, that he saw that that was going to die, so he went back to save it. Oh, but that entire fight scene with the big, honestly, another thing that looked kind of like the Matrix was that big robot encased thing. Wicked cool. Like just the CGI on this movie was insane. I don't know how they did the monsters, like if they just had an actor in a green suit or something like that, but that was awesome. Just really well done. Just really good looking. Like, I mean, the honestly the monsters creep me out, which is probably why I stopped watching it the first time. But I just can't get over how cool, just how cool. And I don't like, because I don't really usually like stories that are kind of like emotional and political. I get kind of bored and they feel kind of preachy. But this one, like, sprinkled in enough like awesome action and just cool ideas of like, and Star Trek has done this before, but biotechnology, that being the only technology of a certain species, that everything they did is one form or another of biotechnology. And that's awesome. But just it was just so cool to see the action in there every once in a while. Like you'd be getting this really kind of heavy political message, and you get all emotional because the father's telling the son like, "Oh no, I'm sorry, we're not going home anymore. We're gonna go to a concentration camp essentially." And then the guy sitting there watching, he's like, "Oh, I'm touched, such a total dick. Can I help you guys?" Well, mostly he reconsidered because of his wife. Maybe that's why it was so confusing. It's because he was never really doing it for them until the very end. He was just sort of pretending. But whatever. So, just a really good movie. I feel almost ashamed that I shut it off before because it was not fair to that movie. Like, I mean, to this movie. It was really, really good. I'm really glad that I saw it. So that's awesome. I don't know any of these actors in here, and I think that's really hard to do with mockumentaries because it just, you think of these people as real people because for the duration of the movie you think it's real. Kind of. I mean, to a certain extent. But I'm not sure. Like, I also wanted to just say that I was like knowing this movie, I knew it wasn't going to happen, but I was kind of hoping it would. The bit where they're just about to harvest him, I really think it would have been just like awesome if they had. If that was like just this weird twist in the movie where it was going to, you knew, where you thought it was going all going to be about this guy. And yeah, I know they foreshadowed it at the beginning. It was stupid of me to think that they might. But I really wanted them to just like hack him to pieces and then just go off on this entirely different tangent. I think that would have been awesome and like not hilarious, but nice and funny because the guy was such a dick. And so he's like, he's going to turn into a not a bad guy. He's going to turn into one of the aliens and then get hacked to pieces for it. And then the whole rest of the story is going to be about something else. I really, really wish that would have happened. I'm sad. I'm not sad that it didn't because the story was wicked awesome. But I think that would have been awesome. I don't even know how else to describe that. So, but like I said, just a really good. The accents are really weird, and I know it's South Africa, so there's like it's like Dutch and Afrikaans, and then like British English. So they just speak the most like not Afrikaans, like the South American language with the clicks. And that's not like racist or anything like that. There really are clicks in the language, which is awesome in my opinion. Having only ever spoke one other language, like having to be able to go is sounds very musical. It's beautiful. So, I don't know. It just the whole the questions it brings up about race and like there was very profound, but then the kind of solution that they proposed at the end of I was kind of hoping all the aliens would leave, and then now I understand why they couldn't just leave because that wouldn't be a solution for the actual race crisis or what was the race crisis in South Africa, depending on who you talk to. Um, because you couldn't just take all of the white people or all the African people and just pick them up and they would just go and leave you alone. That's not logical. I love the idea that the guy would come back because he said he'd come back and you always knew he was going to come back. But and there was that awesome question of everyone's like, "Yay, they're gone." But then you're like, "Okay, but the rest of them are still here." Like, "Okay, so they're coming back, but what the hell is that going to do?" And you're like, and I mean, if I was Christopher, if I was Christopher, fucking, I'm coming back with an army, and we're gonna destroy this pathetic little planet that treated us like shit for however, like 20, what was it like? It was like 20 something years of like just terrible oppression and just shit living. It's too late for me to speak eloquently, but just absolutely terrible treatment. And yeah, no, he needs to come back with like this big fucking army and just destroy them. But I don't know if he will. I was kind of sad that the guy turned into like an alien. I was kind of hoping he would find his wife again, that the whole thing would work out, but these kind of movies usually don't give you that kind of fairy tale ending. It was just a big question mark. It was like they got away. Oh, the bit where they shot the rocket and the guy just was like in the thing and you're like, oh no, he's dead, and then it's like shoot the rocket, bam, caught the rocket. Amazing. Like just you kind of saw it coming, but then you totally didn't. You never thought he would just be like, bam, got the rocket. You're screwed. I was gonna be pissed there for a second because I thought that one army guy with the head wound would live, and I would have been so mad if he was the only one who survived. I would have been okay if the main guy had died, though. I don't know why that feels relevant for me to say, but like the fact that he lived was cool, but I would have been just as okay as if he had died. So, I mean, I would have been pissed if Christopher and his son died, but I wouldn't have been that mad if the other guy had died. It would have made sense for me for him to have died. But he lives on, and the guy will come back and maybe heal him, or I don't even know if he can, like after the transformation is. Well, I said, I guess he could. I don't know. It seems irrelevant. Anyway, I'm glad I watched this movie, and I can't wait to see the next. What's the next one? A lot of these I had already seen, so I wasn't that excited. Being John Malkovich, I don't even know what that is. Whatever. Looks cool. Bye.